Alright guys, we're going to have a go on this again. Have a play around with it. This is Star Trek. What's it called? I keep thinking Oblivion, but it isn't Oblivion. It's Star Trek Resurgence. We shall have a look. Choices. What's his choices? Alright, okay. Hear me up, Scotty. I think this is after it, isn't it? This is beyond generations. It's after generations, isn't it? I think so. I know. I think we're starting from the very front of it. Right. So from the dramatic. Labs.
Captain's log, stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission.
Right, okay, let's kick into it. Right, what have we got here? Excuse me. Shooting. Fair enough. Controls, keyboard we need, modes, alright, stealth, shooting, right, alright, okay, we shall try, as they say, resume, play. Okay, what's going on here? If he's going to be the cinematic again, there's one thing I don't like is cinematics. Right, okay, so your crew, main menu, resume. Seriously, you can't continue from where you left off. That's not a good sign, is it? I don't like it when games do this. There's animations first. Sorry for talking, guys.
Log, stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy, the nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good. Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
Iron Storm. That's comforting to know, isn't it? I would have dropped it to see what happened.
Thanks.
No problem.
I'm not great with flying. But these little shuttles are the worst.
Here's a tip. Don't close your eyes. You'd think that would make it easier, but it only makes it worse. Look out the window, pick a star, and just focus on that.
Fair enough.
I'll give it a try.
Took some advice. Yeah. Smile. Whoops.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't
I
noticed.
can see by the puddle in your
I'm
pants.
on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
It won't be easy for Jara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Yeah, when you press the space bar, it brings you back in the memory. I mean, back into the menu. I think it screws up the game, which isn't good, is it? I think that's why it closed when I'd done the last video to this game. It's sort of out. That's what it basically done. Right, change of station. Okie dokie, right. Beam me up, Scotty. Stop doing that. Alright. He's just sat there waiting, watching the stars by the looks of it. Check lighting on security. Alright, okay.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way. It's a long way down. Woohoo. Quite bright, isn't it? Can you run faster? No. There we go. Oh, he's back. He got there quick, didn't he?
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20.
Good for you.
Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the Academy.
Only top 20, huh? So I guess there's room for improvement.
Well, it's really, really hard.
So I've heard.
Please place your hand here. Hold it there for a few seconds. Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
The pleasure's mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
He looks like he's got the greasiest hairdo on the planet.
On the Resolute.
Doesn't he? When you look at him. Whoops. Look at his hair. It looks like he's been glued on. Right, okay, so we need to head. Can you run? You can. Does everyone else look? Everyone runs now.
Commander.
I like how they all run. Right, okay.
If I remember my briefing, Commander Ermot is a Bolian. So I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
Showing it looks like a toilet brush. Toilet thing. You know those one of those things which looks like the blue, aren't they? Toilet where males go and pee.
Excuse me.
Oh, there he goes. Okay, blue man.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermot, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here.
No.
This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now.
It was perfectly fine. No trouble at all.
I'm glad to hear it. We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship and all. To our little research vessel.
I'll do my best to live up to expectations.
Oh, alright, okay.
No, I'm sure you'll do just fine. And if I can help in any way, just let me know.
Yeah, okay. If I want my house painting blue, I know who to ask. It's not exactly the Enterprise. It's not exactly Enterprise,
She
is
may
it?
not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own. And she
Okay.
doesn't look so bad considering 6 months ago she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
Equipment malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle. Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew.
Ouch.
At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other.
To have lost so many lives. That's a high price to pay.
Too high by any estimation. But there's nothing that can be done about it now except get back to work. And make sure it never happens again. Listen. I realize you've known Captain Solano for quite some time. And I'm glad you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Trust is earned, and it sounds like I have my work cut out for me. But I plan on winning them over.
I don't doubt that. I just figured it was better to know what you're walking into.
Of course.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region. I'll let the captain brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
Nice. I think one of the first. Whoops. Oh. Oh, he's different, isn't he?
Stuck.
Crap.
I got just the thing.
Recoupler. Plasma torch, there you go. That'll do. Well, I don't like this. I wish it could take that long in time fixing your car when it breaks down. Actually, the S. Oh, that's a bit screwed, isn't it? Let's put a new one in.
And that... is that.
Lower decks. Beam me up, Snotty.
I thought that thing was totally fried. Nice work, Carter.
Nothing to it, Neely.
And not a moment too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering. Like, now.
So, right, okay, so when you run, she runs. Right, Go on, unlock the door. This wall, right, okay. Can you use the gun? Shoot her. Alright, so you can't go... Oh yes you can. Quite an easy place to get lost, isn't it?
Engineering.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds. Hanging upside down makes me queasy.
You and me working together, we can tackle anything he throws at us.
Oh,
Your
right, okay.
optimism is positively contagious.
Smooth talker, ain't she?
Looks like
Right.
we got here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
We were
Choban,
just looking
chocolate
for you,
bar.
Commander.
Petty
Oh, wait.
Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Edsolar on repeated occasions.
Apologies for the delay, Commander.
I do not want your apologies. Simply see to it that it does not happen again.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down.
He got
here
out of
to
bed
check
the
in
wrong
before
way,
we
didn't
go
he?
off duty?
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Commander, if this energy storm is causing problems here at Space Dock, what does that say about what we're gonna find when we head out there for real? Shouldn't we let this storm pass?
Long-range sensors show that conditions will indeed be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. Thusly, we are taking all necessary precautions.
The bucket of fun, isn't it?
You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes,
Roger
Commander
that.
Chovak. All hands on deck.
Again?
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovak said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule.
You won't get an argument from me, Nelly. Sure seems like everyone's still scrambling.
And I get it. When has a relaunch ever gone off without a hitch? But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa.
Excuse me.
See you later.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
They seem all right. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board doesn't hurt. Hold on.
Okay.
Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda.
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
I'm gonna take the high road here, pretend you didn't say that, and welcome you aboard.
He's a better diplomat than I am.
He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy.
Oh,
think I
they've been.
forgot.
Have you had a threesome or what?
Yeah, it's coming
Sorry.
back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome.
Oh yeah, you like
As
to get
soon
drunk,
as we
don't
wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
you? Whoopity-doo-da. Right, okay.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's
You
the
like
word?
helping her,
Are you
huh?
back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go.
Good to go. Right. Energize. And
See you on the other side.
he's taking the mickey. Sorry, guys.
Activating magnetic souls.
I say magnetic toes. Okay, well. Oh, right. Is that how you do it? Fair enough. Ooh, she's different, isn't it? Can hear the theme music in the background.
Never gets old.
Let's go.
Oh well. The graphics looks very simplified compared to for the rendering, but it looks alright actually. It does, yeah, they've done pretty good on the lighting and stuff. Here is Blue Boy. All hands on deck.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily.
Captain Solano. Okay, okay, right, okay.
You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
So I take it she gets a... Sorry guys, I'm going to be about menstruating. When it gets down to 1%, she starts to get a cob on. Sorry guys, I've just got a really twisted imagination. Can we replicate some food or what?
Just a sip of something.
I'll have a coffee, I'm English.
Coffee.
Coffee, Tetley. No, not coffee. I'll have a Nescafe. It's a big cup. Now
Perfect
needed.
temperature. Don't know how they do it.
It's easy, it's called a kettle.
Jara Rydek. Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
Well, I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. My only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
That would be totally unnecessary. I don't need any pomp and circumstance.
You've been here all of 5 minutes, and already you're trying to make us more efficient. I like it.
Alright.
As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
I heard that you had an equipment malfunction.
Is that what they're calling it? No, that's just someone being generous.
That's
If
just
anything,
propaganda.
It was a leadership malfunction.
Yeah.
We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. It would have been the crowning achievement of my career. Right there. Within
Until
our
he messed it
grasp.
up.
Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship could handle.
So it was his
It
fault.
was heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking,
We
all them
lost some of
people
our
died.
best people.
Yeah.
As captain, I have to take full responsibility.
Too right you
It
do.
was my decision to make. And I have to
It was
live
your
with the
decision.
consequences.
You aren't to blame. The crew knew. All right. Okay.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
Yeah.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO. And I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action,
I don't know what settings
fully
it's in. It
commit
looks
to the
very
mission.
lowly rendered, doesn't it? Or have you just moved?
Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be my call. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least
Well, don't make any then, mate.
I feel like my career
It's your
is hanging
fault.
in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. Two previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
Sounds very familiar, doesn't
I
it?
see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hotari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater.
So basically, we're being sent into the eye of a storm, more powerful than anything on record.
Well, yes. But we're taking every precaution. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive.
We're taking
I
every
need you to
precaution.
prepare
You're
the
doing
crew
it.
for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front.
Yeah.
The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
Don't
If
screw
after
up.
serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come, let me introduce you to the crew.
Okay, let's do this. Okie dokie. And obviously, this is the bridge. All right. Yeah, it's very much like the Enterprise, isn't it? Now then, apart from there's usually 3 chairs, isn't there? You got a captain's chair and a second in command.
Everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Quick
They
introduction.
sound very excited,
This
don't
is
they?
Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Well, what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our chief science officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Chief Science, want East
Commander
Spock?
Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you
Bedrosians.
for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time. And I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad. Because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves. And you were one of those people once.
That's charming.
But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that.
So once you were a
you've been
chicken, now
something
you're...
of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done.
You really do know a thing or two about me. I'm glad I could inspire you, but it's important to chart your own path.
Thanks. You can count on it.
Charming.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on
Now
the
sit down on your
Starbase.
chair.
Have an urgent meeting with the Starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
The bridge is yours. Take me out with them people stuck on the side of the ship. Right. All ahead full.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak
Pick 'em
needs
up.
to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters
All
in
right,
response
fair
to
enough.
the danger posed by the storm.
At least he remembered them.
We just need your go-ahead.
I'll leave them there, they'll
Mission
be alright.
granted.
Lowering structural integrity field, now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition
Get the mechanics out. Okay, now this is playing you back here now. Tom,
The
storm
is getting
surge.
worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
Right, so all we've got to do now is go A, B, C, D, F. Yeah, right, okay.
Every time we're out here, I half expect to see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more
Well,
than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine. A massive, massive machine.
Yeah, what are you complaining about? We got the best seat in the house out here. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere. See
you
the
are,
world.
you're standing in the middle of space, in the middle of nowhere.
Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be.
There we go.
Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Right, okay, so it's D and that. Ding. Here we go. And what's she gonna do? Open the... Right, okay. I don't know which you want to use. Calibration tool, let's go.
Beginning recalibration.
Careful. Too much action and harmonics will deflect the alignment.
Alright, okay, so...
Light touch, Carter.
What's that? Move. Tune node. Alright, I see what it's doing.
Looks good. That wasn't so
What?
hard.
Bing, bing. Oh, we're gonna
Commander
die!
Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank.
Oh, it's funny, isn't it?
Yes, I am the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out.
Good for you.
Better than just about anyone.
What a very impressive list of credentials.
Wise
This
ass.
is a research and discovery ship, first and foremost. Now with a former tactical officer as its new first officer.
Oh, what a bitch.
I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then?
I'd send you in so you get battered.
You'd leave
Punch you
Captain
in.
Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario.
In my entire career, it's never been an issue, or caused the slightest problem. And I don't expect this to be any different.
I was just
Especially with
curious,
idiots like
that's
you.
Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no
No.
reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill.
Why is he
was
bigger
loved
than
by the
me?
crew, and he was one of my closest friends.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Oh, that made
Seeing
him
as
smile.
Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
Couple of red lights.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound.
On screen.
Oops. Tachyon wave, is it?
Tracing its
What'd you call it?
trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves.
Mission.
And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wideband burst of ionic energy.
Oh,
Like a
ionic.
tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities all over.
Red alert.
Aye.
Aye, aye, Captain. Yeah. We're under attack. By a cloud.
Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's
Okay.
right. Which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Bedrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading.
That's
We've
going
only got
against
one
that guy
shot.
then, but
Understood. On my command.
Heading locked.
Raise shields.
This is it.
All hands, brace for impact.
boom, selector.
Whoa!
They survived. What they're on about?
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't
And
say.
it's just let it out.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
That could blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
Okay, but they survived. Ish. Oops. Alright,
You've
that was
reached the
quick.
first access point.
Understood.
There we
Do you see the
go.
override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Alright.
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Oh, say.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Okay. One way of putting memory cards in,
Yes,
isn't
to
it?
Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Okay. Boo, selector.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
Use the phase. Huh? Can she there? Huh? It's like Space Invaders, isn't it? These are irritating me now. Can't you go back?
Are you alright?
Oops.
Yeah. Suit took most of it. Just snuck up on me.
That damaged your suit. Energy dampening is down to 60%.
They're coming more and more.
Almost to the regulator.
Oh, at least she's shooting from it.
We're at the regulator port. Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
Oh, right, okay. Is that S or 5? Is S in it?
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Hurry up then. Alright, okay, so grab control. Oh, have we got to match up? Okay.
The EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance.
Alright, I'm getting that now.
Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chovak can...
Oops, that's not good. A lot of theatrical music, isn't there? Retry story mode. Retry story mode. Right, I'm going to call it a day here, guys. So I'm hungry and I need a coffee. But you get the principle of what's going on.
Get down! DS to bridge.
Okay.
We just lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down.
I was going to cancel, but I'm carrying on.
Can't push the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working?
Okay.
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
We have
safest way to...
people on this station.
If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps. And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Gara?
Yes, sir. Disengaging the clamps.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. The captain made himself quite clear. Reverse the polarity.
Okay, reverse the
There
polarity.
is protocol.
And there are lives.
Starbase, stand by. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
What? You just said you disengaged the clamps.
Captain, I have to do this.
Kirk done it. Captain Kirk.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Grab my hand!
Folks. Grab my hand, bitch.
I got you.
Thank you.
I need to go wee-wee now.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Go on, go on, go on. Get up there. Two hands are better than one. Why can't it beam them up?
Look out!
Oops.
I got you. Petty Officer Edselar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edselar there to access the interior.
Roger that. I'm going there now.
Oops. Riveting stuff, isn't it? Oh, that was quick.
I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
She'll have his babies now.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there!
You better be right behind me.
Oops. Poor cow. okay, so what next?
We're in.
They're safe. Bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
Pride of Duty. It's all different characters, isn't it?
I'm okay. I'm okay. But that's a lot.
Here, let me help you.
Look, she's scarred.
Medical. We've got one wounded at my location. Millie.
Oh, man.
We'll see you at sickbay.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
So you can get a bollocking. Why did you not listen to me?
You disobeyed my orders.
Like Kirk.
Well?
Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the information
You
I had.
disobeyed my orders! And not
So
just
did
in front of
Kirk.
the bridge crew,
And he became
but
an
the
admiral,
Starbase
then a
staff
captain.
as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
I understand, sir. It won't happen again.
I should hope not. You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are. And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to, you did what you had to. That'll have to be good enough for me.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and then we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
Right, guys, I've had enough. It's 50 minutes. 60. It's been an hour. So I think we'll be calling it a day here. I hope it saves it, because right, all I ask is a tall ship. Okay. As you can see, I don't know how you save it. Do you save it? Resume. Right, okay, so I don't know how it works. What you can get out of it. The crew. Menu. I hope. The choices. I don't know how it plays. Oh, that's fair enough, it is saving. Right, cool. Right guys, we're calling it a day. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Look at some of the other videos I've got. I've got quite a few games I'm playing at the moment. You might like, you might not. I've got the same kind of